Seventh running of the Jericho Cup, that we once again honour the incredible heroic servicemen and women and the wonderful war horses, their deeds during the First World War. And the Jericho Cup, first run in 1918 and set up by Bill Gibbons to be run here for the first time to celebrate the 100-year anniversary in 2018, and it continues today. Can Shane Jackson win it with this gorgeous grey horse? Queen Takes King. She had a big win at the Valley last start, but there's a bit of a query about her on the wet track, Sam.
Yeah, she was dominant against key rivals here last time at Moonee Valley. That was the key lead-up race over the 3,800 metres, and she destroyed them. There was a bit of interference further back in the field, but she won by 6.5 going away. That was on a good track, though. She comes to a genuine heavy here. She's had 3 goes on the heavy, and she's been unplaced in all of them, unfortunately. So that's going to be the big question, but she comes here with dominant form over her key rivals, and she should stay the trip.
We heard from Warrnambool trainer Aaron Purcell earlier what it would mean to be able to take out a Jericho on the home track, and he fields Farag.
Yeah, Farag comes through that same key form race at Moonee Valley. He was held up and no doubt should have finished a little bit closer in that run, but this is another horse that's got queries on the heavy track. 6 starts on the heavy for just the 1 placing, but does bring a bit of class, will stay longer than your mother-in-law, and gets a live chance if does get through the ground today.
McGeehan has made the trip south to race in Victoria from Warwick Farm and gets the services of Steve Pateman.
It's had a jump out since running in the qualifier at Wagga, where it was, well, ran second, but it was well held. That race doesn't rate overly highly for this, and you're looking at the Victorian form or the New Zealand form. That form tends to rate a bit better, so McGeehan might battle here.
Michelle and Patrick Payne chasing their first Jericho Cup. They've got 2 chances, including this guy, Privileged Son.
Privileged Son comes through that last race that we've talked about at the Valley. Yes, it was beaten by Queen Takes King, but got back and worked home nicely. He was doing his best work at the back end of 3,800 metres. Was beaten 7 lengths, but gets Kuru on board, which is the big tick, and has the heavy track form. 5 starts for a win and a couple of second placings. Is going to get through the ground. Is going to be one of the biggest dangers here and one of the horses they have to beat.
Another one who's right up there from a market perspective is Mr. Lincoln. Chris Ryan, look at him there. He's got a small team in work, and this guy is an out-and-out stayer. This has been a plan years in the making. He missed it last year. Mr. Lincoln, to be able to get into the race after a paddock accident, he's got his spot today.
Yeah, didn't get here last year, but has had a great lead up this year. Last start, won over 4,000 metres at Ararat. It didn't beat a lot, but it did it in dominant fashion and profiles really nicely here. And another one who brings some really strong heavy track form. 2 wins and 2 seconds from 5 starts, and comes here after winning that big 4,000 metre race at Ararat. A big chance here.
Jockey Paul Hamlin, he's down from Queensland. So is the 6th, Glenn Massey, the gelding for Paul Duncan.
This horse hadn't been beyond 2,400 metres prior to last start when it ran 3rd in the 3,200 metre Gold Coast qualifier. Was beaten 1.8 that day again. That race doesn't rate overly strong, and I think the better form you're looking at from Victoria and New Zealand.
Last year's Jericho Cup winning jockey Campbell Rawilla, he's on board Split, the 2nd from the Payne team.
A really interesting runner to try and line up. Has just won the 1 race from 14, but has good heavy track form in New Zealand. And that New Zealand heavy track form, well, that's proper heavy track form, much like we get here. It's going to be interesting to see how it's travelled across and how it gets through, but it gets through the ground, it genuinely stays, and it's a live chance for a horse that's only won a maiden.
Will to excel. Well, we've seen this guy a number of times. Third time in the Jericho Cup.
It's a veteran who's won over 3,200 metres, a couple of starts back at Wagga, but it was beaten at 1.5 lengths in the consolation last year, and last time out it raced through that Queen Takes King winning race at Moonee Valley and was well beaten. Would have to have a severe turnaround of form to challenge a few at the top.
With injured jockey Lee Horner in our thoughts, it would be incredible if the McDonald and Horner family can team up with Sky Hero and get a win.
Yeah, there'd be plenty of people hoping that the Horner and McDonald team can get the job done here. This is a jumper who's been building for a race like this, comes through the Queen Takes King race, got a long way back. Didn't get a long way back, was beaten a fair way, but battled on fairly, I thought, that day. And knowing that this is a horse that's been over the jumps, it's going to be rock hard fit for this sort of a trip. It's going to get that journey. It's going to handle the ground to an extent. It's one that I'd be keen to have in your numbers. If you've got a multiple going, throw it in.
The 12 Highland Blaze, the second from Shane Jackson's team.
Highland Blaze ran in this last year without threatening. Hard to see it on recent form turning that around.
Simon Wild won the Jericho in 2020, looking to do it again with Golden Garden.
Was well beaten by Mr. Lincoln at Ararat. Very one-pace stayer who probably needs every bit of this trip, but one that probably will stay the trip, so in a very outside chance.
The 14 staying strong, last year's Jericho Cup consolation winner.
Yeah, did win the consolation last year at a bit of a big price, but this does look beyond him on recent form. He was beaten in a 0-56 last time out at Murray Bridge.
Delkoff, the local chance for Mark Gregg, one of them here trained at Warrnambool. Not a regular winner, we would say.
When you've won one from 53, I wouldn't call that a regular winner. No, Kate is going to battle here. Last time out here, it did get beaten by Excello, but it was well beaten, and I think it's going to battle to run the trip, to be honest.
And another from Simon Wild's team, Star of Tavistock, gets the blinkers on again.
Yeah, blinkers go on again here for a horse that was showing signs last prep of ability, but it's been very disappointing in its last couple. It's been punching forward. I get the feeling if this horse goes back with a little bit of cover, it can be one that can improve, and that's what they're going to try and do today, but does need to improve on recent racing.
It's a testing 4,600 metres that faces horse and rider. They've got to go through the hills, the paddocks. We're on heavy conditions, the tight bends. They've got to go past the roads. Who's going to be able to take out this year's Hames Paint Jericho Cup, Sam?
Well, I'm in the Payne Yard with Privileged Son. I like the horse. I like the wet track form. I like the jockey booking. Sky Hero, we'd love to see the McDonald team and Horner team get the job done here. Queen Takes King, well, it's got a bit of ability but it's the question mark is that ground, isn't it? And Mr. Lincoln, it's got the 4,000 metre win last time out, and it'll handle the ground. So they're my top four.
Well, the money continues for Privileged Son. Was into 420.
Michelle Payne. Michelle, great to see you at Warrnambool. You guys bring two really strong chances here. Privileged Son we'll talk about first. Heavy ground the key?
I think the cut out of the ground's the key with him. Not so much, we don't want too heavy maybe. Still got to run out the distance, but he started up really well. He looks great, and he's here to run a good race, hopefully.
You happy with that lead-up run behind Queen Takes King? Looked to be working into it nicely at the back end of that trip to run out a journey like this?
Absolutely. Thought he was really strong to the line, and main thing is if Aaron can get him to really switch off, and that's the key to him running out the trip, and that he's here in good shape.
You also saddle up Split, comes over from New Zealand, a little bit hard form to line up, but has that wet track form over there and looks like can stay. What do you know about him?
Yeah, we've just been the carer of him for the last couple of weeks down at Patrick's Farm. Joe Rathbone's done all the work with him, but he's travelled over well. He's a tough, honest Kiwi type. He started up really well here. He's done a bit of the left and right work, and hopefully he helps himself by switching off, and he can run it out strong.
Probably it goes without saying, but I've got to ask you which one of them if you're going to have one on top.
I don't know a lot about Split, obviously, but I'll be cheering home Privileged Son pretty hard because he's been in the stable and he's a good, tough, honest supporter, horse, and good supporters.
You've been in the Jericho to be able to get through. It's a testing 4,600 metres through the paddocks. Take us through it, Jacko.
It surely is testing, and yeah, Highland Blaze, and he's a Larry sort of a horse. I don't have him that long. He come to me in great order from Jackson Pallet, and he's a horse that stays really well. I think he'll handle the going. I'd love to have had him for a little bit longer. He took a little while to settle in, but you know, he was qualified for the race. The owners have come down. It's a privilege to have runners here, so it's great to have two in it. But the course, it is very unique, and these have both had a practice around there, but they'll come down They'll look at the roads. The jumpers have the benefit they all have to trial around here a couple of times so they get used to it, whereas these flat horses are just used to going around in circles. So it takes a bit of riding, and it takes a horse that can handle the track.
What a day, what a race. Good luck.
Cheers, Kate. Thank you.
Here was Simon Wild. Simon, you've got 2 bullets in your Jericho gun today, Star of Tavistock and Golden Garden. Star of Tavistock been disappointing, but the blinkers go on.
Yeah, he's he's always felt like a horse that might suit this sort of race, but like they're only flukers, hopes my two this year. But he's shown good ability, especially last preparation, and we put him away, and he's been a little bit disappointing. So we'll just try and ride him a bit quieter than what we have been, and blinkers go on, and he's worked really well in the shade. So yeah, we're just hoping that can turn him on a bit.
Golden Garden followed Mr. Lincoln home last time. Probably no match for him there. Any chance of turning the tables?
Yeah, well, I think Mr. Lincoln's a really good chance in this race, and he wasn't far off him. I know that he will handle the wet ground. It's pretty wet out there in the paddocks, so that'll be no problem to Golden Garden. And look, he's only had that one sort of long distance run over 4,000. He might be quite as seasoned as as we'd like, but if you like Mr. Lincoln, he's not going to be far behind him.
Norton bit goes on, small gear change?
Just a small gear change. He does tend to lay in a bit, and he's been really good in that Norton, so that's the only reason for that.
All right, well, good luck. Well, that's it. They're starting to move in here for the Jericho. Time to head upstairs to the voice of country racing Victoria and the voice of the bull, Rick McIntosh.
Good on you, Sam. 340 Privileged Son in from 440. He's attracting all the attention here in the feature. Mr. Lincoln 420, one of 7 local runners here in this race. The Warrnambool trainers having trained the card so far, have 7 runners in the feature. Privileged Son, the best tried runner though. He is 330, 420 for Mr. Lincoln. And Queen Takes King is the 3rd pick. Here's Farag coming forward now. Queen Takes King, a 420 equals 2nd pick. So the market being dominated by the trio. Mr. Lincoln coming in. Glenn Massey from the sunny coast. Had their meeting Bandon today, so they'll be watching the televisions to cheer on their hometown stayer. Split the Kiwi comes in. Sky Hero. Shout out to Lee Horner. I haven't spoke to him since the Ballarat fall. Hopefully he's on the verge of laughing again. Daryl Horner plus a kilo there. Now Privileged Son. The Clay Hero colours. They won a grand annual here on Awakening Dream. 2012, I think it was. And Will to Excel, the returns here each year, comes in. The 7th running of the modern day Jericho Cup. It's the other one being a lifetime ago for most of us. Now Will to Excel about to come up. So they start almost on the course proper here. Straight across it, cross Alford Road, and they're into Briley for round 1. Fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. The Hames Paint Jericho Cup is underway. Star of Tavistock on the inside, not much speed, and no speed. Queen Takes King. Mr. Lincoln goes forward. And gathering momentum also is Split in the middle. The Kiwi is going to lead them up the hill the first time. Star of Tavistock is gaining momentum. McGeehan, the New South Walesman, and Farag, one of the locals, were next. They're followed further back to Golden Garden. Mr. Lincoln settling now centre field and continuing to drift back as the Queenslander went past him, Glenn Massey, and also Highland Blaze. Sky Heroes in that back half of the field as well. The favourite Privileged Son about 5 from the back over the consolation winner last year, staying strong. Then Delkov, the grey, the top weight Queen Takes King, is backed with Will to Excel. They're climbing the famous Briley Hill here, and Split it is that goes to a clear lead. Out by a couple of lengths here. In second placing now is Golden Garden, and Farag tucks in for some cover at the top of Cox as they go. So they're going to cross the road. And they'll charge down into Granters here, where Golden Garden keeps keeping on here and might go to the front from Split. Third placing is Farag put to sleep. Fourth placing now is McGeehan. Then followed Star of Tavistock on the rails, and they're a length and a half to Glen Massey and Highland Blaze. Two further back in the affair then to Sky Hero. They go left this time around. All of them make it well with the rail to guide. Sky Hero's just in front of Mr. Lincoln, and then the favourite Privileged Son. He was followed by Staying Strong, Delkov third from the back. Will to Excel second last, and the big grey Queen Takes King. She's last of all. And they come around that bottom turn to square up and greet us, and Golden Garden is setting a good tempo for this trip. Out by 3 or 4 lengths on Split, and 2 further back to Farag. They're 4 lengths in front then of McGeehan. He's on the outside of Star of Tavistock, and then Highland Blaze, who tucked in on the outside of Glen Massey, the banana bender. 2 lengths further back to Sky Hero and Privileged Son. Then Mr. Lincoln, followed by Delkov. Staying Strong's a long way back, so does Will to Excel, and Queen Takes King is absolute. Into the lane they come. And the leader has gone clear in roguelike work. Out by 6 or 8 lengths. Golden Garden, one of the 7 locals in the race. Yeah, give it a cheer. It's the Hames Paint Jericho Cup. There's a circuit to run on testing ground, though, for Golden Garden. A dozen lengths it has. Split the Kiwi, forced to do the donkey work. 2 further back in the run then is Farag, enjoying a good trip. He's followed in turn by Star of Tavistock. On the outside there in the green colours was McGeehan. Glen Massey was put to sleep centre field to the Queenslander, followed by Highland Blaze, and then Sky Hero, Mr. Lincoln, Privileged Son. Further back to Delkov, Staying Strong. Will to Excel, and still Queen Takes King is at the... And they're going into the cross country once again. Across Elford Road, they go into Briley. Golden Garden, like all of them, is going to sleep pretty bloody well tonight. Leads out by 6 or 7 lengths. Second is Split, and third is Farag. Star of Tavistock is next, running over on the inside there of McGeehan, and then came Glen Massey. A length further back to Highland Blaze, then Sky Hero. No one's hit the button yet back in the field. Mr. Lincoln and Privileged Son looking at each other, and just as I said that, Queen Takes King speaking, takes off. Goes to the outside and makes rapid ground. Then Will to Excel. Well back in the field then would have been Staying Strong. Drifting right back with towards the tail end of proceedings with Delkov. Still Golden Garden's got no one for company. Gets to the top of the... Cox is here for the second time. This is where the lungs start to burn and the legs start to feel a bit of fatigue. Golden Garden 4 lengths. Queen Takes King has made the big run around them. Third placing is Split. Fourth in the race then is Farag. Then Star of Tavistock. Behind those was McGeehan and Glen Massey. We're getting well back. Privileged Son, he's a mile back, about to start his run. Mr. Lincoln's got a lot to do too over Tozer Road. They make the right-hand turn now and start the trek towards home. Golden Garden collared by Farag. He's gone to the front a long way out, but he's got a monkey-like grip on him. Third placing is Split. Queen Takes King was next, then Glen Massey. Followed further back in the field, then to Privileged Son going between runners. Just urged by the same token. Star of Tavistock 1 paced. So too McGeehan, Sky Hero, Mr. Lincoln a mile back. Farag is idling the local. He's going through the ground beautifully. 2 lengths in front. Golden Garden's trying hard to not to put up the flag, but it's flat. Going past it, Split. Then Glen Massey. Queen Takes King battles on. Mr. Lincoln heads the rest. It's going to be a long way up the straight for Farag, but it might have a lead big enough to win the Melbourne to Waterville. It corners in. 5 lengths in front of Split. Boxing on Golden Garden. Then Glen Massey and Queen Takes King. Farag's a mile in front though. 200 metres to go. It's all Farag. Farag. 8, 9, oh, this is a one-act affair for Farag. Willie Gordon, he's won plenty of features here over the up and overs, and Flash has now won the Jericho. Home goes Farag to win by 15 lengths. Split battled on well. Ran second a length to Glen Massey third. Golden Garden a brave fourth. Then Queen Takes King. Mr. Lincoln never likely. From Sky Hero, Highland Blaze. Privileged Son a mile back. So too Star of Tavistock. McGeehan, Delkov. And they'll all sleep well tonight, but some more than others. Well back, Will to Excel. And the consolation winner from last year, Staying Strong, has made the post, albeit a long way back. 8 races down, 8 Warrnambool train winners. Aaron Purcell gets one. He gets the biggest. The Hames Paint Jericho Cup. Put him to sleep, Will Gordon. He rode a magnificent race, except probably when he was looking around at the 800 metres and the horse had towed his way to the front. He sat quiet for a furlong and said there's no point waiting anymore, and the horse just ripped away. This 7-year-old by Sacred Falls from Flight Time, who's raced by P. Grodos and Mrs. M. Grodos and also the Wrights. Training double for Aaron Purcell, a big feature. Will Gordon with a beauty. And the judge will be here all night working out how far it won by. It was a long, long way. 2, 8, 6 and 13 are the interim numbers. 5, 38, 98. Ablaze, that champion who won the Jericho Grand Annual Double, holds the track record on good ground of 5.19. It's 2, 8, 6 and 13 in 5, 38, 98. A big win for the locals. They've won the card so far. The biggest of them of all, the Jericho Cup, to Aaron Purcell and Willie Gordon. 2, 8, 6 and 13. Let's get down to Kate in the winner's circle and see if we can capture some of the action after a thrilling Jericho.
Thanks very much, Rick. Another incredible edition of the Jericho. Will Gordon might have won one back in 2021 on Will John. But for Aaron Purcell, this is his first one. This is one of the big features at the hometown. You talked before, Aaron, how much it would mean for you to take it out. What does it feel like when you've done it?
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. We've got great bunch of staff that have put so much work into the horse. Peter Groris there, he's the owner. He sourced this horse from New Zealand maybe 12, 14 months ago. Thought it was a horse that could run all day, and he's been proven right.
Take us through the preparations with him. You talked about how he'd been set for this. He'd been ready to be able to come for this one, and this is the one that you guys wanted with him.
Definitely, yeah. He's I think we won a couple of 3,000 metre races in January, February, so he had the points in the bag. So from then on, it was all about trying to get the horse right on the day. His next preparation after that, things didn't really work out in the autumn, so we gave him a good spell. He went to Bellarine Park in Drysdale. They did a fantastic job getting condition on him, and from then on the preparation has been gone pretty faultlessly. The horse turned up in great nick today. Obviously got a good ride from Will, and yeah, it was a great watch.
We're going to speak to Will. Can you believe they did it like that?
We knew he'd just keep running. I thought the horses from the pack would chase him down, but I was confident our horse wouldn't stop. So yeah, I was happy seeing him hit the front, because I knew it would be a hard horse to get past.
What an achievement. Well done, Aaron. Congratulations. What a horse.
Thank you.
Aaron Purcell there. Will Gordon, 2-time Jericho Cup winning jockey. What does that sound like?
Yeah, sounds pretty good, Kate. Yeah, I just want to say a big thank you to the ownership group and Percy for doing such a good job, and his team. He was trained to the minute today. Like he was so relaxed in the gates, so relaxed in the run, and yeah, once he hit the front and he kept finding for me, I said it's going to have to be a pretty good one to come past him, and he was very good.
Well, take us through from there, because I don't think we'd come here to be able to see a 4,600 metre contest and see a horse do it like that up front.
Yeah, no, it was a really super run. The race just worked out perfect for us. I said to the ownership group before we went out, I said just going out there with an open book, you know, to see how the race is run. And when he stepped nicely and there wasn't much speed, then I just let him roll. I said I just don't want to get in a fight with him. Where he's happy is where we'll be in the run, and worked out perfect. You
want to pry with Will John. What a special race. What does it mean to take out this event?
Oh, it's massive. It's such a historic race, and it means a lot. Like the carryings on before it with the silence and the poems and stuff. There's a lot of meaning behind this race, and it doesn't go unnoticed at all. And just a credit to everyone who's put it together. I think it only shows with the turnout how good it's going. So long may it continue.
Well, looking at you, you deserve this one. Congratulations. What a result from Horse and Rider. Well done, Will.
Perfect. Thanks, Kate.
Wow, well, that was a masterclass ride. Well summed up. There's a reason why he's one of the best in this weight class in Australia he is, and Will Gordon summed this up perfectly. Golden Garden led them and set a really, really strong tempo through the early to middle stages, and to be fair, it stuck on well enough under O'Sullivan, but Will Gordon made that early-ish move at about the 800 up the back, and just started to roll into it and have all that momentum. We saw the horse was held up in the key form race last time out behind Queen Takes King. That was on good ground. There was a question mark whether it would handle this sort of a heavy, but he just got through it the best he's ever got through a heavy track, and it was all over bar the shouting very, very early. This is a massive win and another one for the locals. Golden Garden boxed on quite well considering how strongly that horse went through the early and middle stages. Split, the Pain Yard will be really happy with the way that that horse went first up for them. I know it's a slog and it's sort of tapping out at the end, but it's run second in a Jericho after only being with them for a couple of weeks. Glenn Massey was impressive as well. It's a proper stayer, so there's a couple of horses that may be worth sticking around into the next editions of this race. But all honours for the connections of Farag, who I believe Kate Watts is out with right now.
Yeah, I am in a second, Sam, but as you can see, they're getting the official photo, and that's what you want here with a winner like this. As we got the horse, what a beautiful boy he is. But I have heard, I've come in everyone, I've heard, Peter, you're the man I got to speak to with this.
And it's been a great occasion.
Look, what does this mean?
Look, it's a huge win, you know, it's one of those races, yeah, where I can't even talk.
What a dominant performance.
Yeah, it is, and I think, look, you had Colin recently passed away. He's a big part of the Warrnambool, you know, racing fraternity. I think he says it's not the horse that wins, it's the way the horse wins and the people you win it with, you know. And it's no better experience, you know, with people from New Zealand, the family, everyone close, you know. It really is a great thing to win, so we're wrapped. We truly are wrapped.
Well, perfectly said. The big long-term plans come off. They want to go celebrate. Off you
so
go.
We'll go off, but thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. No, sorry, we just got...
This is truly an Anzac effort.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to say. We're really proud of everything that's happened. Thank you.
Well done. Well said.
Absolute scenes out here, as you would expect for a Jericho Cup day, and the locals have had a great day. Well done to Aaron Purcell.